Phantom, how's it going? This is my review for the Absolute Edition of Preacher, the long-awaited Absolute Edition. I have been clamoring for this thing for years and years and years and years, and as many of you know, Preacher is my favorite series, so let's find out if the wait was worth it. Look, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This is the easiest buy that I could ever recommend. Do I think that if you have the hardcovers, if this is worth the upgrade? I'm going to say absolutely yes. I've had Preacher in trade paperback, and I've had it in hardcover format. This, to me, is hands down the best way to read this series. Look at this slipcase. Beautifully done, put together. I love how this looks. Using the covers from the series, two of the famous covers actually. There's Cassidy, there's Jesse, and there's an infamous scene that if you have read the series, you are well aware of what the implication is of that. That's not the thing that really got me. What really got me was when I pulled the book out of the slipcase and I got this. Oh my God. Hands down the most beautiful book I own. I mean, it's just fantastic. The production value on this is something I haven't seen since the Absolute Sandman series. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. It actually looks better than the Absolute Sandman series. I mean, just look at the spine right here. Look at how cool that design is. I can't wait to get the other two volumes in this series because they're going to look so badass on my shelf. Just beautiful stuff. It looks like a Bible. It looks like something you would find in a catacomb inside of like some hidden Roman Catholic church. It's just fantastic. I mean, just gold, leather print. Oh my goodness. I honestly, when I opened it and I took it out of the slipcase, my jaw just dropped at how great this looks. Normally this is a point in my review where I give kind of a background of the story and what goes on. I've already reviewed Preacher, so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to get into the bulk of this, but just a general synopsis. Small town Reverend Jesse Custer gets possessed by a being called Genesis. He then travels around the world with a vampire named Cassidy and his ex-girlfriend Tula, and they try to find God. That's pretty much all you need to know, that and the fact that it is blatantly and horribly offensive and funny and super violent. So like I've said in my previous review, if you are somebody that gets easily offended, not a book for you. With that said, let's get into the meat of this.
Alright, so the very first thing you're going to notice is obviously the Preacher logo in gold. Very, very nice. It's kind of raised a little bit. It feels great. Like I said earlier, leather bound, beautiful package. You're going to notice also the emboss here, which looks fantastic. And then you've got this right here, so you get a closer look of the spine design. Like I said earlier in my video, once all of these are collected in nice, beautiful hardcover editions, there's going to be 3 in total, by the way, for those of you that are wondering. It's going to look badass on your shelf. Now, we've got Absolute Preacher right here. I love this paper. This paper is very nice. It's glossy like a lot of the Absolute editions, so it's definitely an upgrade for those of you that are going from the trade paperbacks to this edition. I know you're going to enjoy that. Very original design. You got Absolute Preacher Volume 1, written by Garth Ennis, art by Steve Dillon, you know, the introduction, yada yada yada. Let's skip to the good stuff. So, table of contents right here. I absolutely love this. I think this is great. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you guys. So you've got the page number, you've got the issue number, the name of the issue, and you have the original date the issue was published. That is awesome. I love these little like added bonus perks to this edition. You've got on the next page an introduction by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. If you don't know who they are, you probably should, considering that they are the guys that are spearheading the Preacher TV show. Whether you like them or not, you know, that is what it is. But it's a pretty cool introduction. It's a fun read. I recommend you do check that out once you get this edition. You turn the page and you've got the cover of issue 1. I'm going to pull back out of the camera a little bit. Obviously, sewn binding. It's what you get with an Absolute edition. The art, like I told you earlier, it's serviceable. I think the art is pretty good. Some people are debating about Steve Dillon and if the upgrade is worth it. I'm going to get into that once I start talking about the art in a little bit more detail in this video. Nice little red ribbon. I really, really do love this. I think that's really cool. It's common for people that read Preacher. And there's a GIMP. Yeah, there is a GIMP. If you've never read Preacher, you're in for a treat. And I'll skip a lot of this. Don't want to get into too many spoilers. Skip. Let's go to the special features because I don't want to ruin anything. We're going all the way to the back. Okay, so we are in the cover gallery now. That's, again, pretty standard stuff for people that are into absolutes, and you've got the scripts for issue 2, written by Garth Ennis. Great stuff. I love reading scripts. I love doing that stuff. I'm a big nerd for that. I like this little touch right here. We're gonna pull back even more on the camera. Is the coffee stains. These are original scripts. You can tell that they pulled the original scripts from Garth Ennis because there's coffee stains on here. It's just a nice little touch to this. I really like this a lot. More stains. It's, you know, a lot of people probably don't like it. They're like, oh, I want my pages clean, but I'm a sucker for that. So this was what really impressed me. These are the original letters from some of the early issues of Preacher, and what Garth Ennis did was that he actually pulled his favorite letters and he included them in this Absolute Edition. Just a nice little touch that he didn't have to include, and I think it's great, great stuff. Don't want to get into spoilers, that would have been bad for you guys. So yeah, cover gallery, letters, and some sketches, design work, things like that. All standard stuff for Absolutes. I really like this. There's a biography at the end of this. So yeah, in terms of special features, you know, it's got a little bit more than your standard Absolute, but not as much as the Absolute Sandman edition, which is just crammed with stuff. But I do think that it is worth it with the special features. You're not getting gypped like you did in, say, the Why the Last Man Absolute edition, which is still the bottom of my list for Absolute editions because of the lack of special features.
The art in this series is serviceable. I know a lot of people that when this was announced were like, well, what's the point of having Steve Dillon's art blown up? Because he's not an amazing artist or anything like that. He's more of a serviceable kind of guy. I personally happen to like Steve Dillon's art. If one complaint that I have, it's that it's obvious that throughout the series, Dillon's art style evolves from very detailed to more cartoony, and a lot of fans don't really like that. However, getting back to the topic of, do I think the art is worth being blown up in an oversized format? Yeah, I kind of do actually. I think I got more out of the art and more out of the emotion of the characters in this huge format. So if you were somebody that was kind of on the fence about upgrading because of the art and because you thought, maybe it's not worth it, I don't think Steve Dillon's art is that great, this might not change your mind, but for me personally, I thought it looked a hell of a lot better than what it did in the standard trades that I used to have. Overall, I think this goes without saying, but this is a buy. This is absolutely a buy. It's the most beautiful book that I own in my collection. And if you've never read Preacher, I would recommend you might start out with the trades or find something on Comixology, you know, something a little bit along the lines, because it isn't for everybody. It's very offensive, like I said, and it deals with a lot of religious topics. However, if you are somebody that doesn't shy away with that, this to me is an easy buy. This to me is the best format that you can pick this up. It's beautiful. Vertigo clearly put a lot of thought and a lot of painstaking process into this book, because just the production value is something that I haven't seen in such a long time. If this is your first time checking out my videos, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. I love hearing back from you guys. And I'm going to ask you a question. Who is your favorite character in the Preacher series? You can answer that down below in the comments section. I love hearing back from everybody. And if you do feel so inclined, please donate to my PayPal account. It helps keep the light on. This is a passion project for me, and I can't pay the bills with passion, as some of you may know. Plus, it takes time to edit these videos, and it takes some time to get the books. I'm sure a lot of you realize that. But, like I said, comment, subscribe. Love hearing back from you guys. You guys are awesome. Bye.